So in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a moto ride with my cousin Roy through the rural Cambodian countryside. And in my opinion, on the back of a moto is really the best way to experience Cambodia. Not to mention where we're going out in the Srea, or the rice paddies, is just a lot better to take a moto instead of a car. For those of you that haven't been following my Cambodia video series, for the past 6 or 7 days, I've been staying in this village called Snald, which is located about, I'd say, a mile south of the Sua market. The entire area itself is very rural. There's no hotels, no restaurants. I think the only semblance of Western civilization is a gas station located probably about half a mile south of Sua. Alright, we've just turned off the main road, and as you can see, it is hard packed dirt here, and that's pretty standard for all of Cambodia. You'll have the main roads, which are paved, and then when you turn off, it's probably gonna be dirt trails or dirt roads like this. And by Cambodia standards, this one's actually not too bad. However, keep in mind that this is the dry season. During the rainy season, some of these roads are impossible to traverse in a car. The only way to get back to your rice paddy is by using a moto or a tractor. As we're riding deeper into the Srea, you'll notice that most of the rice paddies here have all been harvested. Most farmers will only have one rice harvest per year. Instead of utilizing modern irrigation techniques, they rely almost exclusively on Mother Nature to provide them with the water they need to keep their rice paddies growing. As we move further out, you'll start to see some areas where they actually have some water. Those places are either fed by underground springs. Here we have some people fishing, and sometimes they're fed by water sources further up, either from the mountains or sometimes from the Talay Sap itself. We're probably about 5 kilometers from the main road now, and right up ahead is a junction where they built a dam to help with irrigation. So we're out here in the middle of the rice fields trying to find some people fishing. There doesn't seem to be too many, but at least one guy here catching some fish. Stút bán ọt, bánត្រី, ọt bán. Tức nếu mà tí nào? Mà tí nào?
Có people ai hô thiệt mà.
Rồi,
Cái bờ cái hồ.
Yeah, they set up these little shops and stuff where they cook or sell the knickknacks for the farmers that are out here working. Now here you'll see, since we're so close to a water source, there's actually some rice being grown, or sro as they would call it. Oh, so they're actually growing rice here in these fields. It's able to irrigate enough water to get the rice growing. That's wow, that's drawn. This rice that's grown during the dry season is called dry rice. And with the proper irrigation techniques, they can actually grow 2, sometimes 3 crops per year instead of just 1. My favorite thing about riding out into the rice paddies is finding these little enclaves of people living together, just like little I wouldn't even call them villages, but just small groups of people living out here in the rice paddies, taking care of their cattle, tending to their farmland. It's just really neat to see these little pockets of life. It's almost like taking a step back in time and seeing how people lived. For the most part, life in the Sre really hasn't changed much in the last 1,000 years. With the biggest changes being things like tractors for hauling and harvesting rice, electricity, you can see the poles on the right side here, and cell phones. Almost everywhere you go in Cambodia, you'll see people with cell phones. Here's a banana farm. I'm fairly certain almost every single farmer grows bananas. And coming up here is another one of those small enclaves. Side note, Cambodia has about 16 million people as of 2017, and about 60% of the population is under the age of 25. And now we're headed back towards Suh. By the way, this road actually connects Suh to another Poom, the Khmer word village. I don't remember the name of that village. I remember Roy telling me, but it isn't listed on Google Maps. So if by chance you're from the area and you know, leave it in the comments below. But right here we are passing a group of people that are headed towards Suh to join in a Buddhist celebration that's been happening for the past 2 days. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the roads we're riding on are red, and they're known as red dirt roads, but they're actually clay. And when it is dry, that clay just flies everywhere. It gets on the houses, the surrounding vegetation, all over your moto, your clothes. My camera was completely covered in a thin layer of this red dust by the time we were done with this ride. But here we're traveling through another Poom on the outskirts of Suh. And again, I'm not entirely sure what this Poom's name is, but Suh is actually considered a commune, which is the Khmer word for commune. And a commune basically consists of multiple smaller Pooms. So expanding further out, this area we're in is called the Mongolbarai district, which is located in the Banteay Meanchey province. If you're a geography nerd, I'll put the links to all the wiki articles I've been reading to find this information. If you look on Google Maps, the only things that are clearly marked are the provinces and obviously the bigger cities. But the strange thing is, if you use Street View, almost every single street, even the small side roads, have been mapped. It's really interesting. If you thought this was cool, definitely go check out Google's Street View of Cambodia. You can explore all the little side roads and even the temples. But taking a moto ride through the rice paddy country and through these small villages is definitely something you need to experience in person. So if you ever make it to Cambodia and you've done the temples, you've been to Siem Reap, you've been to Phnom Penh, hire a moto driver, have him take you out. Doesn't even need to be that far, because on the outskirts of all these major cities are these little villages, and it's just a neat way of catching a glimpse of what rural life is like in Cambodia. Say hello. Hey, hello YouTube. Hello. Say hi. I was just learning about my family here. Just kind of sitting around, hanging out. It's about 6 p.m. and things are winding down now. I keep getting invited to go over and eat at people's houses, but I'm not hungry. I've been eating all day. Just kind of, yeah, hanging out because this is probably going to be, well, actually tomorrow will be my last day here in the village, and then I will be headed to back to Bogs. So until then, make sure you hit the thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys soon, very soon.